For real.
I'm down.
This is for...
Hey, I haven't messed up yet.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Muddy River Mixology Monday, where each week we introduce a new cocktail using one of our amazing rums. We're here at Muddy River Distillery, North Carolina's oldest legal rum distillery. Today is special because it's, I don't know, we're about to get shut down.
Yeah, right on the edge of quarantine.
We're between social distancing.
Thank you.
And a shelter in place.
Yes,
that
correct.
I think goes into effect on Friday for us. So
right, yes.
We're on the cusp. This is our last Mixology Monday video in the distillery. Today we have an extra special guest. This is Brandon from Stumptown Station.
Yep.
Genius cocktail maker, mixologist, if you want to be called that.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
And bar owner.
Yeah, I do own Stumptown Station. We're in Matthews, North Carolina. We try to use as many cool craft local liqueurs and liquors that we possibly can. So
do an amazing job of that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Where are you located?
We're in downtown Matthews, 107A North Trade Street, and we're just a little tiny spot there, but it's we put out some absolutely fantastic products. Yeah.
Now, a lot of people go there. You're always busy when we're there, and you do take care of the local people. That's important.
Absolutely.
And especially in times like this.
Yeah.
You need to focus on local. You need to support your local bars, your local manufacturers, things like that.
Yeah. Anything you can do to support the cities and states around you, I mean, it makes a huge difference. Mm-hmm. So, as an owner, I mean, that's how we ended up getting together here today. It's just that we were just trying to find ways to get together and do some interesting stuff and keep people informed, keep people aware, and it's really done well. So
Brandon, what are we going to do today? What's the drink?
The product that I want to use today, that I want you to take a few minutes to talk about, the drink that I'm going to make today is a Sage and Lavender Old Fashioned. We'll talk about what it is, but I wanted you to start out and talk about the Queen Charlotte 4-year single barrel.
This is my baby.
I absolutely love this product. It makes for a fantastic cocktail. So tell us a little bit about this, and then I'll tell you why I use it in my cocktail.
All right. So this is our Queen Charlotte 4-year. It's a single barrel rum. We use only virgin American white oak. So what I like to describe this as is the gateway rum for the whiskey drinker. If you're unfamiliar with sipping rums, they do exist. They're out there. You don't see them in our local liquor stores, and that's why we're in business. This Queen Charlotte is aged in virgin American white oak. It drinks like a whiskey, but it is a rum and it is extremely difficult to make. Everything in this bottle is single barrel and numbered batch and bottles, so very special to us. Probably what I drink most at home.
Yeah, I don't doubt that one bit, because this is one of my favorite things. Oh, happens. Yeah, we have a little bit. Yeah, bottoms only.
Bottoms only.
So
that's a North Carolina law.
You said something that was very interesting to me. So as a cocktailer, especially in the current environment that we're in, bourbons and whiskeys are incredibly popular. So with this, I've tried to find ways to make rums and other ingredients very, very popular as well. So with this, being a bourbon drinkers, whiskey drinkers rum, I wanted to try and do an old fashioned. So an old fashioned is an incredibly old cocktail. Was the original term cocktail. So when you ordered a cocktail, you got an old fashioned, because it's very, very simple. It was just whiskey, sugar, and bitters. That was it. So that's what comes in an old fashioned. So I've obviously added a little bit of creativity to it using a rum. So we're going to use the Carolina 4-year rum from Muddy River. We're going to use a little bit of Angostura bitters from Trinidad, one of my favorites. It's the basic bitters that you get from Harris Teeter or wherever it is. Really, really good product, very, very versatile. Now, you have a lot of other, we try to focus on local, you have a lot of other bitters distributors. You have Fee Brothers, you have Crude Bitters, you have all those guys that are out there.
We love to use Crude Bitters.
Yeah, Crude Bitters is absolutely fantastic. They have a hibiscus, lavender, and oak bitters that goes really well with this as well. So this is the home bartender's start. Right, so we'll do that now.
Crude Bitters is out of Raleigh, so
yeah,
it's pretty
absolutely.
accessible.
So it's definitely
we sell it here at the distillery.
Oh, very good. Yeah, you got it right over there. Definitely come pick it up if you want to do this cocktail. You can get pretty much everything here. I made my own lavender simple syrup. So with this simple syrup, I like to do It's a very simple process. Okay, so I take the lavender buds. You can get them on Amazon for super cheap. They come in a big old bag, super cheap. Take about a tablespoon, a little more depending on how much of that floral note that you want. A cup of sugar and a cup of water. Boil it on your stove. Put it together like you're making tea. Boil it on your stove. Bring it to a boil. Turn the heat off. Let it simmer for about a minute. After that, set it off the eye of the stove. Let it just chill out and steep for about a half hour. Okay. Once you do that, you can strain it out. You can use a fine mesh strainer or whatever you have at the house, coffee strainers, whatever that'll work. Strain it into some sort of bottle that'll let you use it. The cool thing about this is you can use it for a lot of other stuff. You can use it for teas. You can use it for juices. So it goes really, really well with like a black tea, strong black tea. Goes really well with that. The reason why is because it's got a really good floral note to it.
Yeah, that is amazing. And
yeah,
like you said, it's not
note.
just for this drink. You can do other things, so it's good for the whole family.
Yeah, you can use it for absolutely anything.
Yeah. We're going to put that recipe, if you don't mind, in the description below.
Absolutely, I would love it. I would absolutely
how I make it.
So again, the Carolina rum 4-year single barrel. We use the Angostura bitters, and we use the lavender simple syrup. Now we're also going to use a little bit of sage. So what's cool about sage? I actually grew this at my house. I'm sorry. My fiance grew this at our house because I'm pretty sure I can't keep things alive. So my fiance, Dana, grows all these things for us. Now, here's what's cool. When you smell that, I'll give you these 2 bunches here.
It's not much going on.
Not much going on. So smell those 2 bunches specifically.
I smell more.
A little more, right? You got 15 leaves there. Here's one of the things that's kind of a trick that bartenders use. Okay. So one of the things, you see where this is going? Yeah. So you'll have a craft bartender standing in front of you. All of a sudden, they're going to go.
Yeah, you just put it in its place.
Yeah. Smell that.
Oh, wow. That is
big difference, right? I can smell it as I hand it to you.
I'm not just being dramatic. That is nice.
It's a substantial difference, yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to find a couple of nice leaves here. We're going to throw it directly into our mixing glass. I'll move this stuff out so you can see what I'm doing here.
I got you.
So we'll throw this directly into our mixing glass. I'm going to use 3 to 4 of these leaves. I got 4 in there. The reason why, because these are homegrown, they're a little smaller. So
and this recipe is for 2 drinks.
This recipe will be for 2 drinks. So maybe in a 5th one there. So the purpose is I want to have that nice sage note. I can still smell it. You can still smell it now. Yeah. So we're going to use that. So we'll set that aside. Now we're going to use our muddler. This muddler here, I like to use a wooden muddler mostly. However, in my travel kit, I'll keep a stainless steel plastic muddler. Keeps it a little easier to keep clean. It's a lot easier to move around. It's a lot easier to use. So I'll take that. I'm just going to put this down here. Now, we started with ice in the glass so that we didn't make a whole lot of noise on the video. However, realistically, I would probably do this without the ice in the glass.
Yeah, just the glass itself.
Yeah, just the glass itself. Now, the point is we're not trying to turn this sage into a paste, okay? What we're trying to do is we're trying to just break that sage up, which is fine that the ice is in there. We're just trying to break the skin of that sage. And the reason why is because if I hand you this leaf here, and I just break this skin, right? Just a quick break all the way around, you're going to get all those wonderful sage notes off of it, right? But if I turn this into a paste, what will end up happening is basically the cellular structure of the plant turns it into like this bitter.
Yeah,
you
more
get that,
foodie.
You get that bitter note, something you'd put on steak, right? Yeah. So we'll add that in. So next, we're going to take a couple of dashes of our Angostura bitters here. Just dab that right in.
Nice.
Okay. Then we're going to use half an ounce here on the backside of my Japanese jigger. Use half an ounce of this lavender simple syrup. Now, one of the things that I do with this lavender simple syrup is I actually make what's called a rich simple syrup. Meaning I throw a little extra sugar into it.
We tend to do that also.
Yeah, it works a little better.
Less goes further.
Yeah, exactly. It works a little better in a cocktail atmosphere. One of the other things that I like to point out when I'm making cocktails like this, I like to start with the cheapest ingredient and then move my way up. Okay, so obviously I grew. My fiance grew the sage.
So technically
free. Yeah, free-ish, right? Then the bitters, which is relatively cheap at a couple of dashes.
Especially at just a couple.
Yeah, just a couple of dashes. Then the simple syrup. The reason why is because if I've made a mistake at this point, and throw it out, start over.
Good point.
So if you're home bartending, think about what you've spent in order to have this here, and then you move from there. So then we'll use 1.5 ounces of our Charlotte rum, 4-year single barrel. Absolutely love this stuff, Robbie. So, we'll add that in. Now we're going to do that twice because we're making 2 of these bad boys. There we are.
I like that strategy of starting with the simple ingredients because I screw everything up
Yeah.
at least once.
Well, the thing is, I'm going to actually add a little bit extra simple because we're making 2 of these at the same time.
Okay.
Usually we would share the same glass, but we're not allowed because, thank you, Governor. So now what we're going to do, so we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about how to stir a cocktail. So usually a cocktail, I like to stir it 42 times. Why is 42 the number, you might ask?
Why is that the number?
I have absolutely no idea, but I like to use 42 as the number. The reason for me is because it seems to put the right amount of water into the cocktail. Now, when I'm training my bartenders and other bar staff in order to do this, what I like to do is I like to tell them to hide their left hand, okay? The reason why is because sometimes the left hand, as I'm stirring, might raise a bit. Yeah.
Mine does this.
Yeah, exactly. Get a little spirit finger. So what I like to do is I like to tell them to cock that arm behind their back, lock that elbow, keep the back of the spoon to the edge of the mixing glass, and you're just going to stir from there.
You might not think about it, but next time you go to a bar making a real cocktail, watch that bartender, and you'll notice they put emphasis and effort into their mixing. It's not a...
Because it matters, yeah.
It's not
so now, one of the things that you're going to notice, and I don't know that you're going to be able to see this on the camera, but I'll use your judgment here. You're going to notice that we started right about here on the frost on that glass. And you can notice we've had about a ½ inch to a ¼ inch to a ½ inch of drop in the sort of condensation on the outside of the glass. That's how I know that I'm done because I've added the appropriate amount of water to that particular cocktail.
Gotcha.
Now, what we're going to do, I typically like to use an ice ball or just a light amount of ice here. Don't want a lot because I've already added the water that I need into this cocktail in the mixing process, right? So all this is going to do is just help kind of smooth that. Well, you kind of level the curve, right?
Yeah.
Which is what we've been talking about lately. So you kind of smooth that cocktail out over time. So we're going to add a little bit of that here. We'll stop that. And then...
Looks good.
Right over here. We can balance those out. Now, I like to use a hawthorn strainer that has a very tight spiral to it. The reason why is because it catches all those leaves. You can see that all those sage leaves and things that are broken up, all those ice chips and everything are still in the glass. One of the things that we had talked about at another time was what happens if you don't have that cocktail strainer. With
a lot of people don't.
Yeah, and you may not have a cocktail strainer like
under
this.
quarantine.
Especially, yeah, exactly. A couple of things that you can do. Number one, just go for it. Just put that cocktail directly into, just drink it as it is. This is a fantastic cocktail as it sets. Way to go. You're ready to go. If you don't have all these bar tools, make it directly in the glass and enjoy the heck out of it. So
yeah, because if you muddle that leaf in first, it's sitting at the bottom.
Yeah. It all sets.
Just like a mojito would be.
Yeah, very similar. Very similar. So with that, we'll garnish this. Again, we're going to catch our sage again. Now, we're going to clap it one more time because we want that aromatic level, right? So sage is going to be a very mild flavor in this cocktail.
Not after you smack it, it's
exactly.
Pretty intense.
So because we're going to slap this sage and we're going to kind of activate that smell, we want that smell to sit on top of the cocktail. So that sage is going to be a very heavy thing that hits on the top of the glass as we try this. So again, we've got the Carolina 4-year single barrel aged rum. We've got the Angostura bitters. We've got a little bit of our lavender simple syrup, which just takes a quick amount to use, or a quick amount to make, and put all that together and makes a little magic in a glass.
Nice.
So we'll go ahead and try it. And because of social distancing, we're going to do a social distance cheers.
The quarantine
cheers works out great.
Spectacular. Brandon, you're doing an amazing job.
So some cool things that you'll taste with that. On the very beginning, you're going to get the nose of sage, right? It's going to hit you right in the face.
Just sweetness.
Yeah, that sweetness and then that floral note that's very mild. That you're going to get that lavender note.
I taste it in my nose.
Yeah, you're going to get that lavender note. And then at the very end, you're going to get all those wonderful flavors out of that 4-year rum.
Yeah, I taste the oakiness, and it's so clean and smooth.
So that's actually the reason why we use the 4-year as opposed to the Queen Charlotte or some of the other products that you make. And the reason why is because that stands up so well to some of the sweetness that we add, some of the herbalness that we add, the water that we have to add in with these cocktails. So yeah, the 4-year definitely stands up well.
Phenomenal.
So yeah, cheers.
Well, folks, I hope you loved the video. Brandon is excellent at his trade. our rums stand out phenomenally. Our rums are still available in our open liquor stores throughout North and South Carolina, so please look for us there. Be safe and keep your distance. Execute social distancing, and on officially Friday, stay at home. Look at our Muddy River Mixology Monday videos from the past. We have lots of drink options for you. And they not only work as cocktails, but some things like Brandon's syrup, they work for teas and other things. There's lots of stuff that
juices,
doesn't have to
teas,
include alcohol.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to take those things that you have kind of sitting around your house that you're not really sure how to use in some sort of way. There's lots of ways to turn that stuff into really great ingredients just for cooking or for cocktailing or whatever it may be.
And it's a way to do things with the entire family and not just to be drinking.
Yeah,
So.
Now I will say another great adaptation for this that I do quite a bit is if you're not a fan of sage, which we have quite a few folks that actually have come in and said, I'm not a big fan of sage, the adjustment that we make is we actually substitute out the sage. We substitute out the Carolina 4-year, and we actually go with the Muddy River Basil.
Which is extremely versatile.
Yeah,
surprisingly, once you get the swing of it.
Yeah, so that Muddy River Basil with a little bit of that lavender, what's really cool about that is it's going to bring forward all those really deep savory notes that come with basil. So those things that you think about when you're preparing a steak or perhaps doing something,
pasta.
Like pastas and those heavier dishes. If you don't like the light flavor of the sage, substitute that out, separate out the 4-year rum, and sub in, use the Angostura bitters, the lavender syrup, simple syrup, but sub out the basil rum, and it's all of those make absolutely fantastic cocktails.
Nice. Sounds like our next video.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So,
well, guys, cheers. Have a good quarantine, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
We should have ice here now that we sell cocktails.
Yeah, you might if there wasn't a pandemic. You get an ice pass for pandemics.
Yeah, I need that ice pass.
Yeah.
All right, we're making this video now.
Ready to go. Ready to go.
One more shot.
Yeah, I'm down. I got a little happy there.
Gotta ease it
What we
in.
should do is we should just edit together all the shots that we've done at the very end.
Yeah, I
And
did
it'll
a
just
video
be-
like that. We were but
Here's a social distancing cheers. We can each. Here we go. Yeah, it works out great.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't get that out. I'm not strong enough. We'll deal with that some other time. Yeah, there we go.
We need something to say, hey, this is when the video is actually going to
Right
go.
now is the time. Future Robbie.
When you're looking through an hour of
When you
footage.
see the hands, this is the official start.
All right.
Very good.
Oh, and
Let's do it. Yeah. Hey, listen. Again, I got to be back at work April 16th. So.
April 16th. So depressing.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
I know.
Listen,
I don't know
you
what
might
we're
have to
gonna
teach
do.
me how to distill.
Hey,
It's
I
either
will.
that or I'm going to have to use this camera to get naked on the internet.
You know, I don't think people will pay money for that.
No. The point is they pay me to put my clothes back on. It'd be great.
Please, God. You have to be spam.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Little sip.
Yeah.
Little sip.
I love it. This is great. I love that you messed up because